Breaking loose in Washington, D.C., the radical socialists, leftists, Democrats, and Republicans are now working together to ram gun control down our throats. I hope you had a good Memorial Day weekend because this is full-on war right now, guys. Welcome in Patrick Parsons, Executive Vice President of the American Firearms Association, alongside my colleague Chris Dorr, the president of AFA. Let us know where you are watching from. I am coming to you live from Kennesaw, Georgia. Chris is somewhere in the Midwest, guys. Tons to talk about. We have Nancy Pelosi is holding a huge, mega, disgusting gun control hearing on Thursday at 10 a.m. of this week. We have Donane Dick Blumenthal and that disgusting traitor, Lindsey Graham, who I hear loves to eat peaches and cream, by the way.
Oh, boy.
And we also have John Cornyn of Texas and Chris Murphy of Connecticut, along with Kirsten Sinema, Tom Tillis of North Carolina, and Kirsten Sinema of Arizona, who are engaged in gun control talks. Guys, this is serious. This is real. This is not a drill. Guys, get involved in the fight. Go to stopredflags.com, pound those emails, hammer your congressmen, hammer your senators, and after you do that, join up with the American Firearms Association at joinafa.org. First things first, Chris, on Thursday, in about 36 hours from now, Nancy Pelosi and that disgusting New York penguin, Jerry Nadler, are holding a gun control hearing in the Rayburn House office building on Capitol Hill. Let everybody know what this hearing is stacked full of, because it's like 8 gun control bills. Do you have that information in front of you there, Chris?
Yeah, it's a welcome in, everybody. Again, jump in the comments section. Let us know where you guys are checking in from. But this is all hands on deck. All hell is breaking loose. That's what the title of this video is. At this hearing on Thursday, they're going to be running. They're going to run Florida's bill that bumps the age from 18 up to 21 for owning AR-15s and hundreds of similar firearms. They are going to have have a hearing on a bill that would make it so if your guns aren't locked up 24 hours a day, you're toast. They want to make you a felon if you own a magazine over 10 rounds. What else is going on?
It just keeps going. All of Biden's executive orders that are set to go into effect August 24th, enforced by this guy Dettelbach, who they want to get in over at the ATF. They want to codify that into law. So instead of just being a bureaucratic rule, they want it into law. This is a who's who of anti-gun wish list here, and they want to ram it down our throat. So that's Thursday, guys. And by the way, if you're just now joining us, Patrick and Chris here, let us know where you're watching from. I'm coming to you live from Kennesaw, Georgia, talking about the latest gun control assault. We're talking about Nancy Pelosi in the House. They got a lot of votes in the House, okay? And in fact, over the weekend, they passed 150 co-sponsors on red flag gun confiscation. So we're having this hearing on Thursday. I want all of y'all to pound that stopredflags.com. Join up at the American Firearms Association at joinafa.org. Chris, do you have that image for joinafa.org?
Oh, yeah.
See if you
I
can
do.
throw that up there.
Yep.
Hop on board, guys. It's $35 a year. It's less than 10 cents a day. You're going to get your official AFA membership t-shirt. You're going to get your official AFA membership decal. You're going to get subscribed to the official AFA membership newsletter that comes in the mail, that comes in the email. You're going to be on our social media channels, and you're going to have the comfort when you go to bed at night knowing that the nasty, meanest, ugliest gun rights activists are fighting for you in Washington, D.C. and state capitals all across the country. And that's us. I mean, we're just being honest with ourselves here. We're fighting for you guys. So join up at joinafa.org. Next week, early next week, Nancy Pelosi has promised a vote on red flag gun confiscation. If you have a pen, guys, it is H.R. 2377. H.R. 2377 is the red flag gun confiscation bill that they claim they're going to vote on next week in the Congress. So you want to write that down. You'll also see that when you go to stopredflags.com. You will see that on there. Chris, you've seen red flag bills all over the country. I think in the House here, this is just going to be Lucy McBath's nasty national red flag law. Talk about stuff that you've seen in state capitals and maybe how it's going to compare to this and what effect it would have at the state level.
Well, the thing that makes this so damned deadly for our gun rights is the fact that this is a federal funding bill. You want to watch Republicans at the state legislative level go weak in the knees at your local state capitol building. Throw a federal funding bill in front of them and say, if you pass this law, the feds will flood your bank account with money. That's exactly what they're trying to do with this bill, with fraud Marco Rubio's red flag bill, and it simply makes it so that the states are flooded with money if they implement their own state version of a red flag gun confiscation law. Red flags just destroys due process for gun owners. It's gun control by declaration rather than adjudication. But that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to dangle this money in front of your state legislatures and say, hey, here's this money. If you cram this bill into law, you get all of this support from the federal government. It further entangles state and federal law enforcement agencies. That's exactly what we don't want to be doing right now. And that's the whole driving force behind this bill. Marco Rubio's version, everything that Lindsey Graham and these guys are working on right now, it's a funding bill that will be knocking on your state legislature's door. And then the Republicans, I've seen it time and time again, they'll be like, we have to pass this red flag confiscation bill because if we don't, we're going to lose out on all of that federal money. But don't forget, that money comes with massive strings.
Massive strings, guys. StopRedFlags.com. StopRedFlags.com. If you've already sent your email tonight, or if you're going to send your email, let us know down in the comments. Just type in red flags. I don't know what you want to type in down there, or say sent. Type in sent in the comments section, guys. And again, let us know where you're watching from. We are nationwide on a couple of dozen social media channels across the country right now. We love you guys. There you go. DB Wagle says stopredflags.com. Sent. Hammer those emails, guys. Get them into Capitol Hill. You know, at the end of the day, we are not insider people. Okay, sure. We have legislative allies on Capitol Hill. We've got Congresswoman Green, who's a great friend of ours. We have Gates and Mary and some other people, guys. And the people, they know, those legislators and those congressmen know that the people, and we know this, the only way we are going to stop this legislation from passing, and I say this because there's a lot of bills, there's a lot of information coming at us, and we haven't even talked about the Senate yet, guys.
Exactly.
The only way we're going to stop it is for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of y'all out there are signing emails, making phone calls, joining up so we have all the financial resources necessary to win this thing, and getting involved in the battle. It's about the people, not the politicians. The power is in the hands of the people. Yeah. Do not let these jerks take any more of our power away. Period. Game over. End of story. Okay, guys, if you want to become a member tonight, join up at joinafa.org. We are going to read some of the new members live on the show tonight. I've got Larry in Martinez. It's not Martinez. It's Martinez, Georgia is in. We've got Ryan is a new member of the American Firearms Association in Rexburg, Idaho. We've got Gary in Elkland, Missouri. If you want to hear your name read tonight, let us know where you are by joining up or chipping in tonight, guys. Chris, let's shift from the House over to the Senate. Okay, Lindsey Graham and Dick Blumenthal, that very bill you were talking about. These guys have been on this for like 4 or 5 years.
Yes,
for like 4 or 5 years. Tell us again over in the Senate. Okay, 60 votes is a threshold. Explain that to everybody. But what's the threat here that we have a bunch of Republicans go on the other side? Just
keep going through it. I'll jump in just a couple of seconds.
So, guys, you've probably heard of the filibuster before. That's 60 votes. There's 100 senators in the U.S. Senate. You have to get 60 votes to break a filibuster. A filibuster is where you could talk all night, right? Oh, talk. That's it in a nutshell. It's more detailed than that. But right now, the Senate is 50-50 in Washington, D.C. It's 50-50. Okay, that's 50 Republicans and 50 Democrats. Well, who breaks the tie? Well, the vice president is the president of the Senate, and they break the tie. Okay, so that would be Kamala Harris. We all hate Kamala, right? She would vote for gun control. The problem now, and why this is not a drill, and why this is such a big deal, is you have Lindsey Graham. Who hates Lindsey Graham? Okay, he had one moment in the sun, and that was all for show. But yeah, who hates Lindsey Graham? I don't like Lindsey Graham. Okay, I don't like him. And he has been trying for years to ram red flag gun confiscation down our throats. Well, they don't have 60. They don't have 60 votes at the moment. But Graham is a Republican, so that's +1, right? You've got this guy, John Cornyn in Texas. You have Rob Portman in Ohio, who's retiring. You have Pat Toomey in Pennsylvania, a Republican who's retiring. Tom Tillis in North Carolina, a Republican who's retiring. You have Lisa Murkowski in Alaska, who's just a total piece of crap rhino Republican.
Yes.
You have the same thing could be said, quote unquote, of Susan Collins up in Maine. Keep who else? Lindsey Graham. Keep adding. Oh, Marco Rubio was a big red flag guy. Rick Scott, Senator Rick Scott, Florida. You guys are in a world of hurt. Maybe you should put DeSantis as a senator, not as your governor. You guys are in a world of hurt. We've got a lot of Republicans. Richard Shelby in Alabama potentially could be for this. He is retiring, guys. So you've got these Republicans who are big league rhinos all over the country. Ben Sass, haven't heard a lot from him out of Nebraska.
Pretty much anybody who doesn't have their mouth open right now in opposition of this cannot be relied upon to do the right thing here. We're talking about we're talking about Chuck Grassley. He's as old as the hills. Joni Ernst, phony Joni. I mean, the lady authored the Violence Against Women gun control bill for Chuck Schumer. What is going on here? And Rob Portman, you already said him. There's 20 more of them just like that. Why aren't they shouting from the rooftops their opposition to this stuff?
Yeah, shouting from the rooftops. The only way to stop these people, and we'll circle back, Jen Psaki, circle back here in just a second. The only way to stop these people is to flood their phone lines, flood their email inboxes of their staff at stopredflags.com, get up in their ear. I'm talking about metaphorically speaking. Okay, we're not for violence here at the American Firearms Association. Get up in their face, get up in their ear politically, and make it known if they do this, they are screwing our constitutional rights. They're screwing gun owners. They're screwing Americans, and they're going to screw their chances in November of getting big legislative or big electoral victories. And to circle back on this, Psaki style, Lindsey Graham and Donane Dick Blumenthal. This guy is like the scum of the earth. He is total evil. This guy would literally, if he could ride around in a gigantic waste management truck and pick up every single AR-15, every single firearm, not just ARs, every single firearm in this country, this guy would just ram them in there himself and probably throw you in there too. And just love it. Just absolutely watch it with glee as they just get chomped to smithereens. And they want to codify this into law, guys, and make us all criminals. We're not going to allow it to happen at the American Firearms Association. That is why we want each and every one of y'all to strongly consider tonight. Make the move tonight. Get involved tonight. Join up with the American Firearms Association, guys. The last 2 or 3 shows, we've had a life member come on board. Each show at the $1,000 level. We're getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of new members, guys. Join up. Your fellow Americans are fighting this fight. Join up at afa.org. And if you just want to chip in or donate after you sign your petition, man, if you could chip in $100 or $200, I mean, I know that's a big sacrifice for many of us out there, but some of y'all can do it. This is a survival battle.
Yes.
They are using the blood of these dead children in Texas and the people in Buffalo. We got 330 million people in this country. We have a free society, sort of. Horrific things are going to happen. There are things we can do to stop that, but it's not taking our guns away. It's not giving the federal government more power. It's not passing disgusting red flag gun confiscation laws. That is not how you do it. We're seeing, Chris, you followed this pretty closely. What happened in Texas? We're getting more and more details every day. The law enforcement, I mean, talk about it a bit, Chris.
I was going to say, what happened in Texas? Well, I think that's on everybody's mind right now. I think everybody knows what didn't happen in Texas, and that is the people who had the opportunity to go in there and save those lives for whatever reason you can possibly come up with. I know that they were taking fire. I thought it was the name of the kind of went with the job. Apparently it doesn't anymore. And I'm sure the comments are about to be flooded with the knowledge that they're not required to do anything to save your life. We saw that happen down there, but it has ignited a firestorm all across the country in favor of teacher carry. I know that House Bill 99 is working its way through the Ohio General Assembly right now. But Patrick, I wanted to circle back on this whole red flags thing, because it seems that is the issue. When you look at all the conversations that are happening in Washington, D.C. right now, that seems to be the one that they are coalescing around.
Yes.
And it's so dangerous, especially for the reason I just said about how it funds the states. But I wanted to remind everybody, you see that cool website right down there, stopredflags.com. Do you know why we have that website? And we've had it for years. It's because after the 2018 Parkland, Florida shootings, when Donald Trump tragically came out and said, take the guns, we'll worry about due process later. All of the Facebook pages that you're watching this on right now, whether you're in Idaho or North Carolina or Georgia or Minnesota or any state in between, I don't care where you're watching right now, all of these state level gun rights organizations got together and mobilized grassroots gun owners all over the country by the millions, and were bombarding Congress and the White House with hell no, don't you freaking dare pass this garbage. And we fought this fight successfully before, folks. That's exactly what we have to do again right now. This link works anywhere in the US of A. Doesn't matter who you are, what state you live in, it works for everybody. You can share this link on your own Facebook pages. You can tell your friends to sign it. It fires off that email to their senator. So that's where the power is. Patrick mentioned it. The power is with the people, and we are ruled by consent of the governed. They damn well better remember that. And that's what this email does. It fires that off to them and says, hell, don't you freaking dare. Elections are coming. And we don't care if it's 2022's election, 24's election, 26. We will never forget what you do on this issue. You better not screw this up.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris. Guys, if you're just now joining us, we have thousands of people on all across the country, across almost 24 pages right now, guys. Let us know where you are watching from. Somebody just commented, it's not the guns, it's the psychos. Agreed with you. Agree with you guys, but there's no federal response to this. All that's going to do is pull us all into it, and then we're all crazy, and they're all going to take our guns away, guys. Patrick Parsons, Executive Vice President of the American Firearms Association, coming to you live from Kennesaw, Georgia, alongside my colleague Chris Dorr, who is coming to us from the Midwest. As he said, he is on the front lines at the state level, working to pass a teacher carry bill in the state of Ohio. If you want to sign the official petition, the official teacher carry petition that's going viral across the country right now, guys, go to teachercarry.com. Very simple, 2 words. Teachercarry.com. Sign that petition. Get involved in the fight, guys. We've talked about, if you're just now joining us, we talked about Nancy Pelosi. Huge House gun control hearing on Thursday in the Rayburn House Office Building in Washington, D.C. We're anticipating early next week, Tuesday or Wednesday, a vote on HR 2377, red flag gun confiscation. When you sign your emails tonight at stopredflags.com, not only are these emails going to both of your U.S. senators, no matter where you are in this country, whether it be California or Maine or Florida or Georgia or Tennessee or Washington, it's going to go to your senators. But by putting your information in there, it's also going to go to your member of Congress. No Republican should be voting for Nancy Pelosi's red flag gun confiscation. And if you do, you will be known. Moving on, Lindsey Graham and Donna and Dick Blumenthal, I think I called him Sidney earlier. I don't know who Sidney Blumenthal is, but Dick Blumenthal announced today that they are working on their red flag bill. Peaches and Cream Lindsey. We all know what we're talking about there, okay? They're working on their bill right now. The third angle to this, and there's probably even more. We're getting information from the Senate side, our sources on the Senate side, our sources on the House side all dang day long. The third angle here is John Cornyn of Texas. Oh, he's a big man from Texas. He's the big senator from Texas. He must carry two Colt 45s on his hip around Capitol Hill. No. Oh, and by the way, John Cornyn of Texas, he has an A+ rating from the NRA. An A+ rating from the NRA. We're going to use that some more, folks. We'll talk about that here in a second. John Cornyn and Chris Murphy from Connecticut, another hardcore anti-gunner. They were in a meeting today along with Kirsten Sinema, this crazy whatever she is from Arizona, and Tom Tillis, if you're watching with us from North Carolina, and I know our friends at the North Carolina Firearms Coalition are in hot today. Chris, that's only on your side, but if you can throw that up there, throw it up there. But they were in meetings today. They said they're making progress on framework gun control. Framework. We've got the framework ready. We got the framework makes the dream work, right? They got the framework ready. Guys, there are Republicans deeply embroiled in the gun control conversations. That is why I'm animated tonight. That is why I'm fired up tonight. And that is why I'm adamant that you join up and become a member of the American Firearms Association tonight. First, send your emails at stopredflags.com.
Yes.
Stopredflags.com. Literally 30 seconds, and then you can come back and look at us screaming at the screen at you. After you do that, join up at joinafa.org. Okay, joinafa.org. Tony Jacob said, I canceled my NRA membership. There is no better time than now than to burn that NRA card. In fact, if you want to burn it and turn it into us or send us a video, we'd love it because we'll play it. Okay, burn it or churn it or shred it. Burn it and churn it. And join up with AFA, guys. We are people just like you. Just like you. We are grassroots activists. We don't have the gold-plated glass buildings worth $30 million in Northern Virginia. We're not going to do that. We don't play those games at the American Firearms Association or any of our state affiliates, okay? We come from the grassroots. We happen to do this as a job. This is what we do, okay? We fight on your behalf. Sean just joined AFA. Thank you, Sean. We get it. You're working your job. You're with your family. Maybe you're retired or whatever. We speak for you in capitals all across the country and in the United States Capitol in Washington, D.C. Chris, the threat of the 60-vote threshold here, okay? If they can break a filibuster on red flags, again, for those folks who are just now watching or just now joining, the consequences of this, probably money flowing into the states. What does that mean in a state like Ohio or Georgia or elsewhere? What does it mean as far as, well, if states that have red flags, I guess?
Well, it's very simple. It is a massive incentive for Republican legislators and Republican legislatures to ignore their people, to ignore their voter base, to ignore the gun vote and say, we have to do this. We'll take this calculated risk. We're going to codify the destruction of due process, because if we don't, we're going to lose out on all of this federal money. And you know what? We can just kind of stick our finger in the air and we can kind of see that this is coming our way anyway. So we may as well just make the deal with the devil, sell our souls, stab our kids and our grandkids in the back, and just go ahead and do it. Let's just get it done. It's coming our way. There's nothing we can do to stop it. Let's just do it and ignore the people who got us into office in the first place. That's the problem. And, Patrick, we keep talking about the 60 vote threshold, the filibuster. You know how, like, the Second Amendment, and I really believe this, I'm sure thousands of people watching this video right now also do as well. Just like the Second Amendment is the one freedom that guarantees that we keep all of the rest, the filibuster is what is keeping the devil at bay, communism at bay, all these evil and nasty things. It's keeping our country running on fumes right now. If we lose that filibuster, we lose our country. We lose our country entirely. It's dust and ashes. It's Venezuela. I was just watching one of those Fox News guys a little while ago while I was working out at the gym, and he was talking about how in 1980, Venezuela was the most wealthy Latin America country in the world. And communism came in, took a hold. They inflated the value of the dollar. I think that's happening right now. They destroyed the currency. They destroyed the economy. And now there is no freedom left in Venezuela. And it's a third world shithole, as President Trump called it.
That's right.
That's what the filibuster, that's what the Second Amendment, that's what's keeping America running. If America is running it all, that's what's keeping it running right now. And if we lose these fights, we don't even know what that looks like. We can't even picture it as Americans.
Yeah, no, I mean, Chris is right, and we're going to do a roll call here in just a minute, guys. There's people on Capitol Hill, the Democrats right now. We were talking about it 2 weeks ago. I mean, longer than that. We were calling kamikaze-style gun control, breaking the filibuster. They can try to do that and just get 51 votes. So far, we've held them at bay. I think it's this guy, Ed Markey or whatever from Massachusetts is the guy who's pushing this stuff. Guys, now is the time in the show for a segment that we like to call AFA Live Roll Call. Roll call. First, let us know where you're watching from in the comments, guys. But right now, gosh, it's crazy tonight. I'm going to read off a number of new members who have just joined tonight as members of the American Firearms Association, guys. Let me go ahead and run down some of these individuals. We've got Gary in Elkland, Missouri. Hey, Gary, and hey, Elkland. Hey, guys, if you're in Elkland, come on in and join in.
Welcome.
We've got John in Hookstown, Pennsylvania, new member of the American Firearms Association. I see a lot of questions. Where do we join? JoinAFA.org. It's fast, it's simple, it's safe, it's secure, $35 a year, less than 10 cents a day. The last three shows, we've had a $1,000 member on every single show. Life member hopping on. If you feel compelled to do that, if this fight is that big, and it is that big, come on board and go ahead and do it, guys.
I just want to tell people for just a minute here, what do you, like, the obvious question is, what are you guys going to do with the money, with the resources that you guys are entrusting to us? Folks, we are doing massive online digital growth right now. We put pressure on these senators in their states. People like Joe Manchin right now, this guy doesn't want to take this gun control vote. And if he's hearing from people in his state back home right now, he can, whether or not that manifests itself as him going in front of the camera and saying, nah, absolutely not, or he sits there and is the voice of doubt within the Democrat conference about going forward on gun control. That's a worthy thing to do. A lot of these people that Patrick has been talking about are in vulnerable seats. That's why they're being pressured by the gun control side. So we go into these U.S. Senate races, these states and congressional districts all across the country, and start putting pressure where it matters the most. People who can feel the heat, because when they feel the heat, that's when they start to pull back. So we're doing that in districts all across the country, congressional districts, and in states all across the country where it matters most and where gun owners can be effective.
Yeah, absolutely, Chris. And I mean, one of our state affiliates, I'm sitting here in front of my computer staring at it. Minnesota Gun Rights, Bendor, Chris's brother, just got an email. Over 150 Red Flag co-sponsors in the House right now and growing by the day. join up with those guys too. And after that, come on and join in at joinafa.org, guys. I'm going to keep reading some of the new members because, quite frankly, I've always been like kind of a history buff, and I just like seeing where people are from. I like asking questions. I guess I'm kind of a nerd in that regard. But my man Ray Blankenship is in. Ray has been a great supporter of gun rights in Northwest Georgia. Many of you guys know that I was the chief of staff for Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene for much of last year, and quite frankly, for about 28 months, I was talked to Marjorie and was with her almost every single day. But Ray was a great supporter back in early or January of 2020, the huge gun rally at the Coosa Valley Fairgrounds in Rome. I saw my man Justin on earlier, who works for the Congresswoman. I saw Chris Beal, who is also a great supporter. I would submit that the gun owners and activists of Northwest Georgia, there is none, and you guys can argue with me all day long, but there is none who are more active, more mobilized, and more involved right now. And for that, guys, you deserve a pat on the back. But Ray is in from Rossville, Georgia. Thank you, Ray. We've got Jack in Westchester, Pennsylvania is in.
Nice.
Edward in Corryton, Tennessee. I'm a Tennessean, Ed. And in fact, I was in Tennessee over the weekend. It's where I'm from originally. Ralph in North Salem, New York. Guys, if you want to hear your name read on the show tonight, join up tonight. Joey in Reno is in. Thank you, Joey. Darlene in Zanesville, Ohio. Aaron in Kennesaw, Georgia. Hey, not too far from me. How about that? Jim is in Houston, Georgia, the $35 level. Eric in Middletown, Pennsylvania. John in Ringgold, Georgia, up in Northwest Georgia. Again, the 14th Congressional District is in. Claudia in Del Rio, Texas. Thank you, Claudia. Francis in Olmsted Township, Ohio. Cindy, Rome, Georgia. I know Cindy. Cindy is in Rome, Georgia, is a great supporter of gun rights. There's Alan in Portsmouth, Ohio. There's my man, Chris Beal, again, in Lindale, Georgia. Chris is so generous with his time and resources.
Chris.
Deborah in Lockney. Gosh, I could just keep going. Minster, Ohio. I mean, gosh, who was that in Minster? Randall. So I don't know if you guys want to sit here and hear me read these names off all night, but it's kind of fun, in my mind. But
well, what it does is it gives us the tools to freaking fight with.
Yes.
And more than anything, we love to be able to fight effectively. And if we don't have the tools to do that, we're just bitching and moaning. This is just a live stream of two guys who have a bad attitude and no ability to affect the outcome of the fight that we are fighting right now. And we dang well need to be able to do that. So when we get resources in, we can put that stuff to work. We can force multiply your anger, the frustration, the anger, the rage, perhaps, that you guys feel about what's happening to this country, what's happening to your kids and your grandkids. We can fight. We can help. We can affect the change or the end result here that we're all fighting for by using your resources better. So we really appreciate it. And so I love hearing the names, Patrick, because all I sit in here is, we get to do our jobs better and get more people involved with us doing this with us.
Oh, please, Mark. Mark, is it counting the money that you enjoy? Shut up, Mark. Just shut up, bro. You know what I saw over the weekend, Mark? And you probably support this. Michael Bloomberg is pumping millions of dollars into this fight right now. Michael Bloomberg. The dude is worth like $85 billion. Billion with a B, not M. That's who we're up against, guys. So please spare me your whatever. Whatever your name is, just if I could find him, I'd ban him. And I will ban. I like to ban people from here. And just get out of here. Just go moan somewhere else, dude.
There's somebody
go
in every
bitch
crowd.
Somewhere else.
There's always somebody in every crowd who's willing to kneel down and lick the freaking boots of the people who are trying to get their boot on our necks. And I don't know what his name was. He's very
gone.
Forgettable. But that's the kind of, negotiating with terrorists has never worked. Negotiating with the radical left doesn't work. Letting Republicans sit down and have these conversations with scumbags like Chris Murphy and Dick Blumenthal and all these people it ends in disaster. It ends in the total destruction of our country. You know, I was thinking about this a little while ago. You know how we're supposed to somehow trust our kids and when they're 5 or 6 years old as to make their own decisions about what gender they want to be? You know, I mean, why don't these politicians listen to these kids who are dying in these schools and let them make the decisions about how they want to be protected? Do they want their coaches throwing their bodies in front of these thugs and killers, or do they want people with firearms? You know, so I just don't see how these politicians think they can sit there and decide what my grandkids get to enjoy for a country when they can't even decide what bathroom boys are supposed to use and girls are supposed to use. It makes me mad.
Right. It's probably one of the guys too who's like, oh, we need to send $40 billion worth of long-range rockets and shoulder-powered missiles and fully automatic, semi-automatic machine guns over to the Ukraine, and give all the guns in the world to the Ukraine, which Russia will probably get anyways, or somebody else. Yeah, exactly. And then like we get nothing. Oh, you know, red flag that guy. He's crazy. He's on Facebook. He's screaming. Breaking news here. Speaking of acting like a politician, embattled Uvalde School District Police Chief Pete Arredondo has stopped cooperating with Texas probe into the Robb Elementary School massacre. Well, I guess I would too. I mean, if everything we know about this thing, I would stop cooperating as well. You better lawyer up. Quite frankly. So, it's ugly down there, and we are not going to let a French fry dipping 18-year-old piece of crap who works at Wendy's in Texas. We are not going to let his horrific actions, and we are not going to let these evil, disgusting two-bit senators, Republican and Democrat alike in Washington, D.C., take our guns away or put us on more lists than they already have. We are not going to go silently in the night, and we're not going to let it happen. And the only way we stop that from happening is y'all making your voices heard in a big way. Sign your emails. StopRedFlags.com. Again, it takes 30 seconds. It hammers into the U.S. House, hammers into the U.S. Senate. Believe me, I've been a chief of staff on Capitol Hill. We know when the emails start coming in, and we know when the calls start coming in. They calculate them right there, bro. And let me tell you, the member of Congress wants to know what people are calling and emailing about. Let's be number one. Let's be the top issue. StopRedFlags.com. Get involved in the fight, guys. Join up after you've done that at joinafa.org. That is joinafa.org. New members, Ron, Spencerville, Ohio, is in. Doug, Lebanon, Pennsylvania. How do you pronounce that, guys, in Pennsylvania? In Tennessee, what is it, Chris?
Lebanon.
In Tennessee, it's Lebanon. So I figure it's probably Lebanon. It's not Lebanon up in Pennsylvania, but Lebanon.
Close.
Lebanon, I guess. So Guy in Mansfield, Ohio is in. George in Woodfield, Ohio is in. Andrew
coming in strong tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Andrew in Bibb County, Macon, Georgia is in. Roman in Brazelton, Georgia is in. Christopher, Cincinnati, Ohio, in. Franklin, Lancaster, Aaron, Kennesaw. I think I already read that one. Yeah. Priscilla, Ringgold, Georgia, another one, Northwest Georgia. Eric, Middletown, Pennsylvania. Michael, Statesville, North Carolina. Gary, Elkland, Missouri. Denise, Truesdale, Missouri. The great Alan Figueroa in Atlanta, longtime GGO supporter, longtime friend of mine. Sean in High, Ohio, wherever the heck that is, guys. Keep it coming. Get in the fight. If ever there were a time to get in the fight, guys, it is in right now. Hop on board and become a member tonight of the American Firearms Association. Let's recap here, and then I'll let Chris close. Thursday, less than 36 hours from now, or about 36 hours from now, Nancy Pelosi and that disgusting, waddling penguin, Jerry Nadler from New York, will be hosting will be hosting or holding a hearing on a host of gun control bills, raising the age to purchase semi-automatic long guns from 18 to 21, codifying into law Joe Biden's executive orders on uppers and lowers and all this, everything else, so-called ghost guns, right? Magazine bans, mandatory storage requirements at your house, where you get like a tax credit for things at your house. It's crazy. And then early next week, Nancy Pelosi has said they're going to be voting on HR 2377, which is Lucy McBath's red flag gun confiscation. That is coming up for a vote. Moving on to the next topic. Peaches and Cream Lindsey Graham and Donna and Dick Blumenthal of Connecticut. Word come out today. They're talking every day. So you're like with your family over Memorial Day weekend, maybe thinking about someone who's passed away in years past. Lindsey Graham and Dick Blumenthal are thinking about how to take your guns away. That's what they're doing. That's what those guys are doing. And then another big gun control conversation today is John Cornyn of Texas. I'm Republican John Cornyn of Texas. I have an A+ rating from the NRA. I must be a great Second Amendment guy. Nope. He is in conversations with Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy on gun control. A+ rating from the NRA. Thank you, NRA, for screwing our Second Amendment over. Kirsten Sinema from Arizona. Tom Tillis, our friends in North Carolina. Tom Tillis, on his way out the door, is trying to just ram a ice pick right through your brain on this issue, guys. So it's been a great show tonight. You guys are fired up. Sign your petitions. Help us stop this thing at stopredflags.com. Join up at joinafa.org. It looks like Cameron just came in at the $250 level. Carapolis, Pennsylvania. Cameron is in. Thank you, Cameron, so much for being involved in the fight. Chris, do you have any last words? We'll probably
we haven't
back
even
tomorrow.
We haven't even like nailed all of the topics here tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, I see somebody just brought up they're trying to take the 9mm also. Make no mistake about it.
Miss that?
That's the dumbass stuff that the NRA started in 2018 when they said we need to pass red flag laws. If you don't know that, that's the truth. When they said, you can take the bump stocks, all that kind of stuff. The left knows this. If they can get the train running, they can take away everything. Legally, at least on paper, they can do that. I'll be a freaking proud outlaw the day that they outlaw my freaking firearms, and they're never going to come confiscate them from me willingly. But this is the tip of the iceberg. What Patrick just explained there about what Pelosi is doing with these hearings and with the gun control votes, they are trying to tee up the pressure in the Senate to make enough Republicans buckle on this issue. They need to deliver something. They need to deliver something for the gun control community, the gun control crowd who spends big money in the elections. They need to give them something big in order to get them to come back to the table to vote again in these midterm elections when they're all looking at this slaughter on the horizon, if we have free and fair elections, of course. But this is all hands on deck. There's so much we could sit here and talk about. We could talk about what they're not talking about. We could talk about why aren't they talking about psychotropic drugs? Why aren't they talking about how they've destroyed our schools? Why aren't Republicans talking about a lot of this stuff and putting the blame back where it belongs on those bastards? That's exactly what they are. They're illegitimate. They're unconstitutional bastards. We could talk about all that, but we're just going to ask you to focus right here and now. Right here and now, we're asking everybody to sign that email, send those emails to your U.S. senators and your Congress member at stopredflags.com. And then please become a member of American Firearms Association today. I'll throw that link up there right now as well. We could very much use your support. We want to find a whole lot more people out there. There's millions of people. A lot of times you sit there and you think to yourself, man, I just wish there was something more we could do. I wish there was more people that felt like me. Guess what? There's millions of people that feel just as you feel, that think just as you think, that think as we believe. There's millions of them out there. We're trying very hard. We're trying very hard to find them and get them involved in this fight. because I need them, you need them, our kids need them right now worse than we have ever needed them before. A lot of people think back, the fights of the 1990s on gun control, that was bad, and the fights of recently after Newtown in 2013, oh, that was bad, folks. We have leveled up on the threats against freedom and the threats against the very fabric holding this country together in ways we can't even. It's a nightmare. It's all happened in the last 2 years. We need to fight very hard to stop this stuff right now. We need to fight very hard to send this message to the Republicans who are considering betraying their voters. You vote for that stuff and you bastards will pay the political price. So
guys, we're going to be back probably tomorrow night. I don't know if Chris and I will be here. Maybe some combination of us will be here. The great Heath Whittle is here from Rabun County, Northeast Georgia, a good friend of Georgia Gun Owners and a good friend of AFA Live. There's so much to talk about.
I know.
Excuse me. We didn't even talk about Beto, the Beta boy.
Gosh. Yeah.
A so-called assault weapons ban. Kamala, assault weapons ban. We've got court cases. The American Firearms Association is going head to effing head with Merrick Garland in federal court in a matter of a few weeks. We are head to head with Garland in Missouri and in a federal district.
Defending the best state-level gun rights bill that has ever been passed in American history. It's the Second Amendment Preservation Act. No other state has it. We are defending that in court against Merrick Garland's DOJ. And folks, it's big. It's big.
It's going to be big. So we'll be back tomorrow night. There's so much to talk about. 9mm ammo ban. I mean, they're just Justin Trudeau in Canada. Did we see Trudeau today, guys? Did you see that, Chris?
Oh, yeah.
Trudeau's sitting there well, maybe it was yesterday, and all these just insane, mentally ill elected officials and bureaucrats are standing. It's like dystopian. It's like 1984. I don't even know what all those words mean, but I'm using it. It's just weird, okay? It'd be like me doing the show here tonight, and I have a bunch of people standing behind me in masks. I mean, it's just weird. They are freaking weird, and everything you can possibly think that they want to do to us. Just look at Justin Trudeau. Sale, transfer, ownership. They're going to, I didn't mean to keep going here, but maybe they can talk about it tomorrow night. But they are going to keep, they're going to modify the magazines. So if you have a 30-round PMag in Canada somewhere,
or several hundred of them,
several
and the
hundred
drum magazines to go with it.
Yeah, exactly. You are going to be required. My understanding is that you are going to be required to bring those magazines to somebody with a drill or something and drill a metal plate in it to cap it in 10 rounds or something. It's so weird. It's so insane. These people are so evil. Okay. They hate your family. They hate our country. They hate our gun rights. They hate everything that we are about. And if we're animated and we're fired up tonight, it's because we have to be, okay? Hundreds of years now of people who came before us fought these same battles on different levels, okay? We're just trying to do it legislatively. And we know we can win. And with your support, we can win. So go to stopredflags.com, join AFA.org, guys. We love y'all. Thank you for your support. I'm going to read a couple more here. Joseph from Evansville, Indiana. Steve from Des Moines, Iowa. We've got Danny in Molina, Georgia is in. Come on in, guys, and get involved in the fight. My name is Patrick Parsons. Chris Dorr is right above me, guys. We love y'all. Look for email alerts. Look for text alerts. Look for social media alerts. And look for the AFA Live show here on Rumble, on YouTube, on Facebook, and on our email. We'll probably send this out tomorrow morning, guys, because I think people are going to be just want to know what's happening. Yeah. So have a great night, guys, wherever you are. Be safe. Buy a lot of guns. Buy a lot of ammo. Teach your family and friends how to use them. And let's just kick butt and take names. Okay, guys? Have a great night. We will talk to y'all tomorrow. Later.